What's up, man? What's up, brothers? It's your boy Choco Pie Senior, man. It's cold, man. Wow, it's cold. I'm sitting in my car defrosting. Man, it's kind of sad, man. Dude, I feel like my vacation, because there was some anxiety-inducing things, so I took some doctor's medication and stuff, and I just feel like it just went by so fast, man. Yeah, it was 6 days. 6 days, honestly. It's a long time for normal people to go on vacation, but honestly speaking, me and my wife haven't been on vacation like probably more than 3-4 years. And I know some people haven't been on vacation a lot longer than that. Which to you guys, dude, I feel for you, man. Oh, it's getting better now, finally. My car, it's a Subaru, baby, but it takes a long time. And when I bought this car, it was after I crashed my car. And I crashed it on circumstances that I do not want to mention here, but my parents did not know. And they helped me get another one, because that's when I first started off running this business of mine here. And I told them I need a car, so we went to the Subaru shop like the very next day, or the very day, I don't know. My memory is a little foggy when it comes to those days. And we just got me a car, and I looked at the Subaru outside, and I was like, man, this looks cool. Oh, what's up, Alexander? How you doing, brother? And so, yeah, I am. I usually use these lives and I turn it into videos for myself. It's like, but then if someone hops in like you, I say, what's up? Hey, man, I am one of the best at talking to myself. Say, don't be like me. People think you're crazy, homeboy. I noticed some people watch these lives later, Not a lot of people actually come in while I'm doing it, because I'm a nobody, right? But I do notice some people watching it a little bit later. That's why I talk to myself. Anyways, so I got this car, and I didn't know that as far as Washington people go, people talk crap about this car all the time, or the Subaru brand. They say it's for hipsters, and I'm from Texas, and I thought I was a little thug, and I never knew that this is supposed to be like a white man hipster car. Nothing against white man hipsters, it's just not my style. See, I sit by myself talking to the moon. Hey, don't be saying some cute stuff like that. Is that Bruno Mars? I don't know if I should face the camera away while I'm smoking a cigarette or what, because I don't want to promote nicotine action, but I have to smoke. Today, my friend Alexander, he is a good young homie that started joining me, just like John and the rest of them. And today, it's my first day going back to my business, man. I've been avoiding it like the plague for months since I started screaming. Should stop smoking. Man, I should stop doing a lot of things. And I'm working on it, man. But my mom told me once, because like when I stop doing something or I thrive for something, I go like so heavy into it for months. I just go extreme, but then I get burnt out, and I go right back to space one, or even further back than I used to be. So if I stop like doing drugs, then I'll stop it and I'll go to God like crazy, going to every Bible study. Like my week would be packed with like Jesus stuff, and then I get burnt out, and I finally just say, you know what, I deserve to get snort a line here and there, and that's where the cycle continues. So I am gonna stop this garbage, and I'm gonna stop a lot of things, but I'm gonna have to do it one thing at a time. One of the stupidest choices I've ever made, people. Don't ever do it, man. Alexander he's being nice, but whoever smokes these, you probably got peer pressure, or you're just a dumbass if you're smoking at this age for no reason. It smells like crap, nobody likes your breath, and it doesn't make you look cool no more. Back in the old days maybe, but not now. But yeah, I'm going to work. I just felt like I was getting up. I wasn't going to go in until a little bit later. But I know this ain't that early for most people. It's about 8 o'clock or something here. Some people go to work at like 5 in the morning. But for me, it's early, all right? But I just heard this small voice in my head that said, hey, man, you need to go to work. And I just read the Bible a little bit before I came, just a small passage. And in the small passage I read, I think it said, a little sleep, a little slumber, which is sleeping again, and poverty, with fear in my life, man. The 3 years of losing and it's not the fact of just losing a business. It's my parents that blessed me with this business had their retirement home, their 2-story house that they got for their old, that's their house that they're going to rest in peace in. And their other business that's making them money so that when they retire, they can retire okay. It was all connected to my business. And if I fail this business, then they lose their house, they lose their business, all because of their stupid son, you know? And that weight on my shoulder was crazy, man. I did not know how to handle it mentally. I just wanted to shut down, to be honest. And the streaming thing, it helped me because the year before, man, I was grinding, but I was grinding on doctor's medication just to work. I had to remodel the whole hotel. I had to talk to electricians, plumbers, like all these people, like work with them while running this business and trickling in just like 5 or 10 guests out of a almost 100-room hotel I have, only having 5 to 10 guests, and seeing that we're making no money while we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it would be killing me on the inside. And then I have to call my... We don't deserve to go to no Hawaii, dog. I don't deserve nothing. You know, I deserve to be homeless. You know, that's not the mindset I was thinking in. But that mindset will get you nowhere, man. That mindset will get you straight to the streets. So, this year, I'm going to change the way my brain thinks. I've always told myself I'm a very logical guy. Also very emotional. But I always said I'm very logical because I think a lot and I know things that some people don't catch. My wife doesn't catch things I catch. I'm a people observer and I pay attention to things. But the problem with that is I see patterns a lot in people and in incidences and things that happen in life. So I see patterns and I connect patterns like a psychopath, and then I'm thinking, oh, so this is going to happen again to me. I'm going to get robbed again. Somebody else is going to come work for me that's going to steal all my money again. I'm going to get screwed over. All these negative thoughts, just over. But no more, man. You know, it's such a weird thing. Like, for us Christians, it's like they tell you to have faith. And faith is something you can't see. It's like air. You breathe it, and you're like, oh, okay. So there's something that I'm breathing in that's keeping me alive. Because if I hold my breath, I feel like I'm about to die. But we're supposed to believe that it's there and we can't see it. That's the same thing with Christian faith. Rarely does God show up and does miracles. Now, I've seen him do a lot. You know, on that part, if I'm mistaken, correct me. I don't believe in all that, but I do believe that they are on to something, which is the same thing that Christians say too. Speak good things about yourself. Say good things will happen. Believe it will happen. Because that's faith. So we're going to hope we're going to make millions this year. And we're going to make so much money that I could bless my parents back, take care of my in-laws who are poor. Because honestly, I think I'm the only one that could do it. Their family structure is very blessed. They have more family than my family. So I'm always jealous. The in-laws got into a big fight when I was over there. Straight from vacation, they picked me up with the aunt. The aunt lost her son, and I knew her son when I was in church when I met my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, who was nobody to me. But during that time, I met her brother and her cousins, a girl cousin and a boy cousin. And the boy was super sweet, man. His name was Sammy. I thought he had the best personality. He went swimming one day with his friends and he passed away. And all these things happened. So that aunt, when we got married, she's always like talked about me. Even when her family hated my guts and wanted me to go die or wanted to beat me up, the aunt was there and she tried to be nice to me. Which honestly, she even admitted that she's the one prone to talk crap and gossip about other people sometimes. And it's not just her aunt is a good woman. It's just a lot of Korean culture for some reason. I don't know what it is with my people, but we have a tendency in our culture that's terrible to gossip about others. And the first thing that you sit around a bunch of Korean older people, they will ask is, hey, how many kids you got? What kind of jobs do they do? What university did they graduate from? So it's all a pride and ego thing. It's not like Americans where you just hang out and say, hey, how are you doing? No, they ask these things that are very personal, that automatically from your kids puts you into a stature of whether you're lower than them or you're higher than them. Because if your kids are a doctor, even if you're poor, you look better in front of people. And if you have a lot of money, you look better in front of people. It's just all about status, man. But so far, so this aunt, I send messages on Thanksgiving and other holidays. I include her in with my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. And so she picked me up with my father-in-law at the airport with my wife. We're tired, right? Vacation. We had a good time. And we're tired, but they're there, so, and we're sleeping in the living room. So, and they're drinking, and talking. And I guess my in-law aunt, I guess is the way to call her, her daughter is a little bit from what the aunt said. And I'm hearing this, and I kind of knew this already because we met last time. She didn't come to our wedding, nothing like that. And her and my wife used to be close because culture, age means a lot. So there's so many rules. When we last met up for her grandma's birthday, they did not shake each other's hands or even acknowledge each other, which I went over and I shook hands and whatnot. But even if it's a year older, the younger one is supposed to go say hello, and then the older one is supposed to acknowledge. Then usually the older one pays and stuff like that. There's all these little dynamics. It's annoying, but it's also good for our people. But it's just a strange relationship. The relationship the bitterness is just overflowed right now. So that's what the aunt was talking about. And then her mom, I love my mother-in-law, and she's very cute, but she doesn't have social awareness. And especially when she drinks, it's even worse. And my wife has this tendency too. That's why I told my wife no more drinking for her. And she stopped, for a good while. Well, on our vacation, we drank, but she didn't get drunk, thank goodness. But I told her, we need to stop now, no more. The social awareness goes away. So my aunt thought that my mother-in-law thought the aunt wanted my wife to bow her head down and be the one to say, I'm sorry, when it's not really my wife's fault, But no, all the aunt was asking is, because she's the bigger sister, can she be the bigger man or a bigger woman and go over and try to mend that relationship, because it's family. And I'm hearing all this, and to me, I'm hearing all these stories and then back and forth, and I see everybody's point. I even see my mother-in-law's point, but my mother-in-law is so lost in the sauce, and my father-in-law even understands what's going on. But then my mother-in-law's like, no, screw it. Why does my daughter have to bow down to whatever? And I'm like, dude, oh gosh. And I try to explain to my mother-in-law, but she won't hear it. And she's like, oh, so she also said to me, so you're on their side too, huh? And I'm like, nobody's on nobody's side. We're a family trying to mend stuff. But my Korean isn't the best, but I still understand everything and know what's going on. And then my mother-in-law said to my father-in-law something that's horrible, and especially in front of your son-in-laws. It's just Koreans, we just have this thing where there's the do's and nots. And this is something they should have never done in front of me. But my mother-in-law, out of drunkenness, said to my father-in-law, you should just go die. Go out and go die. And this is the first time I ever heard her talk like that. Like, yeah, she could be a little bit of we call it nunchi. Having no nunchi, man, it's, having smarts to observe the situation and how to talk. And she just told my father-in-law to go, why don't you go die outside then? And I'm like, dang, that's harsh. And she said it twice. And I'm just looking at my father-in-law, and I can see him visibly get angry. But the thing about my father-in-law, he's such an amazing man. I don't know if I can hold my temper the way he does, but I'm learning to. He just didn't cuss at her. Yeah, when he went to the restroom, he kind of pushed her aside because she was in the way. But it wasn't like a slamming, but it was a little bit of a push when he went to go to use the restroom. And then he started saying, oh, I'm going to go, I'll leave, and I'll go, off off myself. That's how it was. And this is starting to become 12 at night. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? We just came back from vacation. And you know what's crazy? Just an hour or so before that, I convinced my mother-in-law and my father-in-law for the first time. They stopped going to church, it seems like, after the whole debacle with me and their daughter, which was more than a decade ago now. And they just stopped going to church. And I told them, hey, how about tomorrow? Well, I'll spend time with y'all. We go to church together. Because I care about my father and mother-in-law. And they said yes. But that didn't end up happening because of that fight. And so everyone was trying to get my father-in-law to come back in. Didn't happen. And then I went outside with him. My aunt did too. And the aunt is actually my father-in-law's sister. So they're very close. My dad is not that close with his brother, unfortunately. And it's the only brother he has. He doesn't have any family other than his brother. And my grandpa. Anyway, that's another story. So this is all happening, and then finally, they step outside, and I walk outside to make sure my father-in-law doesn't do anything crazy. And my aunt's like, okay, let's just go somewhere. And I said, okay, sure. And I did not drink up until that point. But I saw my father-in-law, and I am an addict too. But I don't like drinking these days. It doesn't affect me the same way. But they said, hey, let's go out and drink. And I said, all right, father-in-law, let's go. Because he was so upset. But, so we're outside, and then the aunt and all of us were going to go. But then the father-in-law said, no. We'll just go by ourselves. So him and the aunt gets in the car. And then I'm just standing outside waiting, because in Korean culture, when you see adults drive off, you wait outside until they leave. Okay? It's another respect thing again. And so I'm waiting outside, standing there, waiting to bow. And I guess my father-in-law is a little drunk, right? So he says, he felt bad for me. So he called me over here and he let me go with him. And I was like, dang it. I wish I did not go. I really do wish I did not go. But I'm glad I did, but I'm so not glad I did. And I'll tell you why. When I went over there with them, it was good because I got they said, don't ever mention this to anyone. Everything has to be a secret. That's what my father said. You will never mention this night. And I'm thinking, where are they taking me? Like, are they taking me to one of those Korean places where women serve us drinks? Because that's weird, because my aunt is there with us. But is she also a partier like that? Because I'm telling you, us Koreans, we do weird stuff like that. All right? But no. We went to a casino. That's their little secret thing. I was like, what's the big deal? I'm not really a gambler myself, but knowing from VR days, I do know I have an addiction problem to anything. So we go there, and this is where the good part comes in. I get to sit down and tell my father-in-law, hey, how much of a good man he is. I told him his patience is something I look up to, and it's what I aspire to be for my wife, and for myself. Because my father, my actual father, he loves me, but he lacks patience. Our whole family does. We're full of fear and anger. And I understand why with my dad, because of how he grew up. And I understand it about me. But my father-in-law is a different kind of animal. Very patient. He didn't cuss out my mother-in-law during all that spat. Didn't hit her. Didn't do anything. And most people be like, oh, that's because he's a B. No. Dude, it takes an immense amount of strength and will to hold back in that kind of situation. And he showed me great strength, man. And that's what I told him. And when I told him, he's like, shut up, you lying or whatever. But yeah, we drank a couple shots, but then it was last call, so we didn't, thank goodness. But that's not where the bad part comes in. The bad part comes in is they stay there till 4 a.m. And your boy, at first I'm like, okay, I'm here. Might as well put some money in and play some casino. I end up losing. I put in $100. I put in $20 first. I said, that's it. No, lost that. So I put in another $20. Boom. I got up to, I think, $200. Lost that all. Then put some more $100 in. Got up to $400. I said, no more. I'm done. Let's go home. I couldn't get my father-in-law and my aunt to go home. So I said, okay, fine, whatever. And then I lost it all. And I think I ended up losing $1,000. That is the worst thing. And plus, we did not go to church the next day. But other than that, I was glad to be there for my father-in-law. Anybody that watches this, I'm a complete stranger to y'all. You don't know me. I'm nobody famous. I just tell stories like this, just hoping maybe one of you guys out there, it connects with y'all, man. I don't know what the lesson in this story is. Well, the lesson in this one is the fact is patience, man. And spiritual attacks, dog. Whether you're a believer of Jesus or if you're atheist or agnostic, it does not matter. There's things out there that attack you, man. Or you could just say mentally, and you got to watch out for those things. Like, we're about to go do a good thing the next day, which is go to church. But because of their drunkenness, it ended up miscommunication happening, fighting happening, you know. But then also, I'm glad I was able to be there for my father-in-law, to take care of him mentally, to let him know that he's doing a good job. Because a lot of times, us men don't. I told my wife, dude, I need more. I know you know the good things about me, but as cheesy as it is, I told her, I need you to tell me, dog. Like, I just need that. I need someone to tell me, especially my own wife, that I'm doing a good job, man. Because otherwise, because 24/7 in my head is just thoughts of negative thoughts, just attacking me, of how much of a loser I am, you know, a fake business owner, you know, a fake Christian. All these thoughts just bombarding me, man. And if you look it up, I think they say that your brain throughout the day throws at you so much negative thinking all throughout the day. And that's why it's important to speak good things about yourself, and also to let your loved ones know you need to hear from them. You know, I tell my wife all the time she's beautiful and she's patient, and these things, you know, just to make sure she understands what kind of person she is. Because sometimes when we fight, oh man, I say some of the most despicable things that comes out of my tongue, dude, because of my anger. But we're working on that. I had a lot of fear coming back to work today. I avoided this place like a plague because it gives me so much stress. I just got to my business. First 2 years I ran this business, man, it was like I was like the Energizer Bunny. I was in my upper 20s. I was like, oh, I'm a business owner now. I just came out of jail, and man, look at me now. And then I met a hotel owner in town that ended up becoming a business mentor to me. He taught me a lot of things. He owned a way better hotel than me. At first, I was suspicious of him, thinking he wanted to rob me or something. He called my hotel. I remember all our parents were in the lobby of the hotel when we first bought it. And he calls, and then I speak to him. I say, hello. And he's like, hey, I own a hotel close by to you guys, and I'm also Korean. And I was like, okay. Hey, so what can I help you with? And, you know, I was so dumb back then. I didn't know there's levels, right? His hotel is like a four-star hotel. Mine is a 3 and under star, okay? So just by that fact, there is no competition. We have different clientele. So there's nothing for him to gain off of me. But there's so many times in my life that people screwed me that I have this paranoia sometimes. And it's the right paranoia to have sometimes. But no, he just wanted to get to know me. And he helped me out. And he helped me meet millions. I mean, a lot of millionaires like him. And they taught me a lot of things. Some good, some bad. But a lot of good business stuff. And I thought during those years, I was an emperor. Because the city I live in is very poor. People are struggling. A lot of gangbanging activity. A lot of drugs. Seattle has that too, but it's bigger, right? So you could go to a nicer place or stay in a crappy place. But this place is small where it's just very low income and stuff. So I thought I was the man back then. I'd go to bars, and because of my personality back then, and I had more ego, and I still had my muscle, and I was skinny back then, I'd go to bars, buy everyone shots, waste all my money, and just think, oh, I'm a businessman. Tell my managers to do whatever. And of course I worked too. I worked the front counter. People would come, I'd grab their suitcase, I'd run it up to their room and do all sorts of things with a smile on my face, working. And then when I went to Korea for my sister's wedding, my first manager stole a little bit of money from me. And I really liked her. I would have forgiven her and gave her a second chance, but my dad told me, no, you need to fire her. And at that time, because my dad still was giving me money for the business, I feel like he said I'm the owner, but I felt like he's the owner. So I had to do what he said. I had to let her go. And she said it's because she was too scared to ask me, but she was going to return it back. But I was like, dude, I like this so much that if you just told me, I would have just gave you the money for free. And I really liked her. I think she's still a good woman. She just was a single mom taking care of a lot of kids. Now, the second manager after that woman, complete sociopath. I feared giving her two. She's the one that opened the coffee shop with my stolen money. And the third one became a best friend of mine and also made me almost go bankrupt. So, this business, which started off as something that I cherished like a baby, became something as a nightmare to me. Complete, utter nightmare. I hated this place. I hated coming here. Every day I would have fear and doom looming over my thoughts coming to this work. And I just did not want to be around here. But then last year I was forced to be here. And last year we had no guests. Absolutely none in the summer. Because of different things I had to do to survive. And we had to empty out all 50 to 100 rooms of bunk beds out of their rooms and have new furniture from a different hotel that I got from a liquidator. And we had to manually put it into all the rooms. There's no elevators at my hotel, so I was just, oh man. And then I had to talk to electricians, plumbers, debt collectors. Like there's, dude, it was so much hell. But we made it, man. Your boy made it. And that's the important thing, dude. I was able to stay alive and we made it to this place, man. I don't know what this story has to do with the earlier story about my in-laws. I'm just telling you stories of my life, man. I have no idea how in the world we're going to make money here. But I know we will. Logically speaking, me owning this business for this many years, I've seen how it goes. I've seen the clientele. Especially with the economy right now, people don't want to spend too much money. Like, I see these things, and I even lowered my brand a little bit, and I'm just thinking, man, how in the world am I going to make this work? Well, we're good. I got no choice but to make it work, man. Absolutely no choice. My dad, he puts a lot of fear in me. He calls me all the time. He's in this since I was a child, man. But as I own this business, he would always say, this is your last chance. You know, this is all you got as your heritage. Honestly, and that's still a blessing. Because some people don't get nothing from their parents. And I'm able to be a GD guy that my pops blessed me with a business. You know? But he always says, this is all you got. And if you don't do this right, then you know you're done for and all this. And he puts a lot of fear in me, man. But I know that's not his intention. His intention is he's saying the stuff that he's scared about, and also to kind of boost me up and put that fire under my butt, man. You know what I'm saying? But it does the opposite effect for me. It makes me a little bit more scared, more paranoid. But this year, those are not the things that's going to affect us. We're going straight into the blessing mode now. Jeremiah 29:11. I always love that one. It says, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you. Plans to give you hope and a future. I might have jumbled that up. But those three things are in there. He says his plans is to prosper me, to give me hope, and to bless me. Like, what more do I need than that, man? Alright. Anyway, that's just your butt chocolate pie. We here, baby. Back to the grind, man. Hopefully any of you guys out there working 9 to 5, busting it for your family, or for those of you guys that are young, trying to figure out what you want to do in life, dude, you got plenty of time if you're young. Do multiple different jobs. Go to school if you want to. Unless you don't know what you want to do, then don't waste your money. If you're smart enough, ask your parents to give you that money. Go to a trade school or something else. But I think going to college is a good experience. But it doesn't help you to get a real life job unless you have a certain thing you're going for, like to be a doctor or a lawyer or something that you actually need a degree these days. These days, people will just hire anybody that's willing to work hard and not complain. Out of every employee that I would hire, all I look for him is loyalty. I don't care if they've been to prison because of my own things that I've gone through. Now, not all bosses are like me, but most people, and the people that interview me and hired me throughout my life, have always, they wanted to see, do I have enough like enthusiasm, mannerisms, the way I talk to them when I'm getting interviewed? Am I fast? And do I have any drive for the job? So for those of you guys looking for jobs, always go there. I don't care if you don't even have if you have a button up, but you don't have nice slacks, just wear the button up. Tuck it in, go in there, because you know what it shows? It at least shows that you're trying. And trying, to me, and for any business owner, they can see it. They're like, oh, okay, this guy is trying. I'd rather have someone that doesn't have a lot of money that's trying than someone that comes off fancy and arrogant and act like they know everything. Because those people are not teachable, and they will not bend to anything, to the business. They just have their own thoughts and their own ways of doing things. Be careful of people that are like that, especially if you're the business owner hiring people. You know, a business is supposed to function by rules and policies, right, that the owners put in place. And if you don't do it correctly, and then you have strong-willed people that are always doing something wrong, sometimes you just gotta drop your losses and cut them off, man. And for you workers out there, just show that you're trying. Show that you have some loyalty, you know. During my many times of interviewing people, I've done a lot of different strategies. I've done things online where I've asked them stupid questions like, so if this happened, how would you react? It's like stupid things. But nah, these days I'm just very blunt with that. I said, hey, tell me your background. If you have anything, be serious with me. Don't lie to me. Because if I catch one lie, I don't want to hire you. I want people that are honest. Even if you did something bad back then, that's okay. I usually ask them, are you currently using? Because that's very important, because, you know, no matter how nice and good they are, I'm sorry, do not hire drug addicts. You'll mess up. 9 out of 10 times, you'll mess up, dog. I've hired so many people that have substance abuse issues like me. I'm on medication right now, but back then I had even worse issues. But we always fail, like during jobs, because the addiction takes over and it makes you depressed and all this stuff happens. So if you are a business owner, I highly advise you, do not hire people that are using, if they're using marijuana is marijuana. But I did lose my first maintenance guy off of marijuana because he stopped smoking marijuana. I don't know, it was a personal choice for him, but the withdrawals made him so irritated and whatever, anxious, I guess, that he just fought with me one day for no apparent reason and just dipped out and ghosted. I really like that guy. Anyways, talking too much. Blessings as always to people out there, and hopefully y'all have a blessed day and positive thinking and a positive attitude. Deuces.